2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We've got another In the Cockpit podcast. I can't get the words out. Sorry, just bashed the camera as well. We're back again for, I think it's the, oh my God, I've lost count already. Is it the third one?
Third.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Sean. How have you been? You all right?
Yeah, over the moon. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Absolutely knackered, but all the better for putting on a lovely podcast with yourself, of course. So it gets me to Wednesday definitely. So I'm looking forward to the end of the day on Wednesday. So it's been a busy week to be fair, and like I said, in HD of course we've had quite a few races that's gone on. So we wanted to sort of start off with a quick recap of Imola, of course. Like we said last week as well, it's the first time that either HDE, ALR or PBE have raced around the Imola track as a league. It was quite an eventful sort of first fixture for Imola in the calendar as well, quite early on as well, like we said. So I think it went down pretty well. What were your thoughts on it personally?
It was really good to watch. There was some pretty impressive, emphatic Grand Prix winners as well, wasn't it? We had the two Ferraris of D-Mac and Silly Sly Guy absolutely slayed it, didn't they, in their respective leagues? Fantastic stuff, and we had some great battles as well. But I was quite surprised to see a lot of rain at that time of year in Italy, though.
Yeah, I think it really spiced up quite a bit, didn't it? And I think. Especially there was a couple of races, I think it was in your race as well in Division 6, where it sort of it couldn't make up its mind, and it was sort of halfway through the race it changed situations, and then in your case as well, I think on Tuesdays in Division 6 it was started off dry, went to rain, and then halfway through decided, I don't want to do this anymore, and went back to dry, didn't it?
It was a great. When I was racing it, it was a really good one to watch. Really good one to drive in and watch as well, really, because it was passing me by left, right, and centre. But in terms of the weather, it's fantastic because it was on the borderline of it being intermediate tyres. But and a lot of people was like going on intermediate tyres, and there was the same. It's the Martin Brundle famous line is that be on the right tyres at the right time, and that's what I kind of looked into P9 or P8 in the end. So. Difficult one though. I enjoyed it though. Probably one of the better races that I've participated in.
Well, that's all right then. That's good news, I suppose. And you sort of touched on Sly Guy's performance in Division 1 as well. So we'll go through them quite quickly in order as well. We'll go back to sort of from the top step, Division 1. Sly Guy absolutely dominated the Imola race. Absolutely fantastic to watch as well. Like I said, we did discuss the Mclarens last week as well, but both of them claiming a double podium yet again. So unfortunately, they couldn't do much to deal with Sly Guy, but still a fantastic result nonetheless for them as well. But I thought the Division 1 race around Imola was fantastic.
It really was. 24 seconds the gap was in the end between Sly Guy and second place. Mclaren have got like 7 podiums now, aren't they, in the first 5 races in total, aren't they? They've just dominated the podium steps so far. Both Blaze and Danger Times have been fantastic. I'm really impressed with Danger Times because I did commentate on him last season, and I think he's taken not a step up. I think he's taken 2 steps up this season. He's been absolutely emphatic, really impressive indeed. I think the gap's down to 27 points in the World Championship going into Portugal, which is going to be very interesting indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing how the drivers can tackle that another new circuit. But both McLarens, I think, like you can't say they're unstoppable, can you? Because we all remember what happened in '98, don't we? Where McLaren was well in front of the rest of the well in front of the rest of the opposition. And in the end, it was one of the tightest title fights in history, wasn't it? Where unfortunately, if Schumacher didn't stall on the grid in Japan, it might have been a different story. So anything can happen in Grand Prix racing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Blaze or Danger Times doesn't stall on the grid. Hopefully for the next race or for future races. But yeah, like I said, it was like a very, very tough race. I remember watching it and just thinking, well, these guys competed at the very highest level, of course, but a fantastic race from every single one of them as well, to be fair. And like I said, it's so close in Division 1, although we've had quite a big gap to the leader. I think everyone else was battling quite well for points and just to finish the race as well in some cases, because it's a difficult track as well. I think a lot of people further down the divisions. I know we had a really good race in Division 2 until sort of the latest safety car came out, and it sort of ruined what would have been a sort of fantastic sort of 10 out of 10 sort of race in my opinion. Yeah, that was just unfortunate. And then I think as we worked through the divisions as well, it was really good racing overall. But I think some people did struggle, especially further down with, especially Sector 2. I think it was a bit of a nightmare type of track, really, especially with people who hadn't had much laps under their belt to get used to the track as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was very much eye opener, wasn't it? It was quite interesting to see who was. It was quite a natural talent. It just like gets on with it. Like new track, they just jump in the car and they just go straight out. And then there's other drivers like like an Alan Prost kind of thing, very very methodical in their approach to Grand Prix racing, where they like go around like lap after lap, like trying to nail the perfect corner. And then there's like people like Ayrton Senna kind of thing who just like go out there and just seat of the pants kind of stuff, isn't it, really, and just use their natural gift. So it was very interesting to see, and I think a lot of drivers who was really impressive. I think DMAC really impressed me. Watching the race back on in Division 6 was fantastic. I couldn't believe how well it was. Ash Tube as well in Division 7. I must admit, I think he's gone under the radar for me, really. I should be talking about Ash Tube and Jinner a bit more. They've both been fantastic in Division 7 so far. Both Red Bulls are running away with it. Incredible stuff from those two guys in the Division 7.
Yeah, it's really good to see. Like I said, I think we did have a quick chat about Jinner before. I think, like I said, last season, fantastic quality pace, but inconsistency in the race cost him, and unfortunately cost him quite a lot of finishes as well. Even outside of the points, unfortunately for him. But like I said, this season, new person, new driver, he's come back and he's battling for podium, battling for wins as well now with his teammate Ash Tube, of course, like you said. So both of them doing a fantastic job, and it's similar to the sort of McLaren situation at the opposite end of the table as well, or end of the divisions, I should say, where you've got the McLarens at the top of Division 1 doing exactly the same thing. And I think I think they're nearly working together in terms of the Red Bulls down in Division 7. I think they've done a fantastic job so far this season, and they've been really performing really well. Both of them faultless, really. And Ash Tube, of course, getting I think it was 4 wins now as well so far. So he's been putting in the time, putting in the practice, and it's really paying off as well for him. So he's looking for a quick move up to Division 6, I think, with you to compete with yourself.
Well, I think I don't want it. No disrespect to Ash Tube, I don't want him in Division 6.
There you go. Unfortunately, Ash Tube, you're not going to be able to be promoted to Division 6 because Sean doesn't want you in his league. So that's sorted. Well, like I said, I think we might have to see what Sean's feelings are at the end of the season. Change that over so that we can get Ash Tube up the order. But no, like I said, absolutely smashed it so far this season. And I think, to be fair, lots of the Division 7 drivers have improved massively compared to their performances in PB or ALR last season as well. So it's good to see a lot of development from drivers, like you said, with Danger Time sort of going up 2 steps and really competing a lot better than he was even in ALR last season as well. I think we've seen that from actually pretty much all drivers in every division as well now, is that they're putting in more effort, more time on the game to make sure that they've got a better sort of performance in terms of what they can offer when they get to the races as well. And it's paying off. You can see that the guys that are putting in more time, more effort are getting more points. Unfortunately, not for you, Sean. But your time will come. Your time will come. So. Yeah, so you can see, like I said, the more time you have available, of course, it does depend, because obviously there's a lot of real life circumstances outside of F1 and outside of playing any PlayStation. So, like I said, it depends on what people can do, and it does limit some people, of course, as well. So it's a shame, because like I said, if everyone practiced like an hour a day or something like that, I reckon we'd have quite a few really good drivers as well, like added on to what we've already got. So it'd be nice. But like I said, no, there's a lot of people who've improved over the first 5 rounds or so now as well, but also definitely from last season as well, just coming into the HDE sort of era as well, which is nice to see.
definitely. I echo that. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's been a fantastic first couple of rounds. Looking forward to Portimao as well. Well, I'm not personally, because I love the track, but I just struggle around it. But I think I'm stealing your thunder again, Alex.
Portimao. Oh, that's all right.
Oh, okay. Let's crack on. I'm looking forward to Portimao and commentating on it next week. It's going to be really interesting to see Portimao. It's the final of the new tracks as well, isn't it? So the first six rounds, we've had 3 new circuits, which it's been quite tough to be fair. So it's going back to that how much you've got to practice and how much drivers are just like living on their wits kind of thing. I think all the drivers, all 140 odd, have done so brilliantly. Well, it's more 140 odd, isn't it? Really, I think we've had 170 odd that have participated so far this season. Incredible. Yeah, they've all done superbly well. But yeah, going into Portimao, it's such a tough track. It is a real driver's circuit though, where you're going to be rewarded by being brave, but at the same time you're going to be also punished for being silly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think I agree with that. But I think, like I said, that's quite similar. I'd say for all 3 of the new tracks as well. To be fair, like I said, we raced on Jeddah in round 3, and then obviously Imola in round 5, and of course Portimao coming up in round 6. So yeah, I would say that's quite similar in terms of all of them really. But I do like Portimao. It was obviously the first one that was added out of all the 3 new tracks. I think it was as well when it got added to the game, of course, as well. So yeah, I'd say probably hopefully a bit more people have had more time on the track in terms of getting setups, getting familiar with the circuit as well. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's amazing track, best up there, best in the top tier, but I'd say it's an enjoyable track still, and I think it's I think actually all 3 of the new tracks are pretty good to race on, to be fair. But I'd have to say I like Imola, Portimao, and then Jeddah in that order, I'd say.
See, I'm kind of the opposite, really. I really like Jeddah, and I really enjoy Portimao as well. And I think Imola is probably the lowest one for me. But I think that's due to the fact that I've raced on Imola quite a few times. So I quite like new things. So yeah, all shiny stuff. I'm like one of those crows. I just steal things that are shiny.
Oh, it's shiny. I must have it. No, that's all good. Well, I said that sort of rounds up the sort of recap bit of the side. Like looking forward to Portimao as well, of course. Like I said, we should have some fantastic racing nonetheless around Portimao, hopefully. I hope you do well, of course, Sean. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But we want to sort of go back to the topics we were talking about. Well, one of the topics we were talking about a little bit last week, which was the liveries. Of course, since we've had that last podcast, there's been a few more liveries that have been released as well. So yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts. And we again talking about Imola. You did mention Senna earlier on. Just thinking about looking at the Williams as well. They've said that they've removed the sort of the S icon from the front wing as well. Obviously on the new livery. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of see what your thoughts were on that. I know the reasons why they did that was because I think they wanted their current drivers to sort of just move on and crack on with the new team with the new livery sort of thing. But what's your thoughts on the livery as a whole and the Senna badge as well?
The Williams livery, I think, is absolutely lush. That's a technical word, isn't it? Now, absolutely, I love it. It's lush. It's got it's throwbacks between. I've seen a lot of people online comparing it to the Simtech and the Prost kind of thing. So, Prost were like a dark blue, Simtech with purple. I wish there was a purple team on the grid. That's one thing that I'd absolutely love to see. Bring back Simtech. But yeah, the Williams looks fantastic. I think it's my second favourite livery at the moment out of all the new ones that have come out so far. I think it might be third, judging on one of the spoilers I said earlier. But yeah, but yeah, the Williams is fantastic. I love the look of it, and unfortunately, it's another blue car though, so it really upsets my spreadsheet with all the blue colours and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to really get some high-powered Specsaver glasses, aren't I? But from the S side of things with Senna, I'm in two minds about this one because I feel that the sport should never forget the heroes of the past, like Fangio, Jim Clark. Those guys paved the way. Ronnie Peterson. I always say Ronnie Peterson because I think it's I can't remember who it is now in Division 7. They have a Ronnie Peterson style helmet, and I absolutely love it. But we can't forget those. Can't forget the drivers of the past. But I do understand where Williams are coming from, and Williams are now owned by Dorrington Capital, and they want a fresh start, and they want to, move forward, kind of thing. So I kind of understand it in a way. I'm a little disappointed, but I do understand.
I call it Dorito on. Because I haven't really paid attention to them really. But yeah, like I said, I touched on that. I think there is a lot of memories and sort of respect for Senna and the foundation as well that's been set up in his honour as well. And I think it was I remember watching the documentary, of course, that came out years ago now. But I think it was Prost who was actually one of the biggest donators to that, which was quite nice. Of course, them being title rivals and all the battles that they went through on track. But yeah, like I said, it still means something for the Williams team, I think, as well. So yeah, I would have said that. Well, preferably I would have kept it just on the car, just because it's been on the car for so many years as well. But like I said, I think with the new ownership and things like that, moving forward, moving in a different direction as well. And like I said, we have seen it in the last couple of seasons, so Williams' improvements on track as well. So hopefully that carries on as well. But yeah, like I said, the livery side of things, absolutely fantastic. I think they've always had a few changes, haven't they, to the livery. I think obviously we saw the livery last year compared to the one before as well. And then this one's completely different again, really. So yeah, it's nice to have that as well. Nice to have a bit of a difference because, like I said, we've seen quite a lot of liveries that are just quite samey. So it's good that mentioning no names, Christian. But yeah, so it's nice to have a bit of difference, I think. And like I said, it's probably the most standout. Maybe there's a couple more that we might talk about in a minute, but. They might have a bit of difference as well to their liveries from last season, but yeah, definitely Williams always sort of try and put a bit of quirk in there as well, and there's a bit of red in there, which is very confusing as well on the sort of engine cover.
Yeah, after their nightmare season in '98, I was surprised that they went with the red, to be fair. Because I remember Patrick Head saying he would never put red on the car again after those two seasons. But there we go.
But it might be from Dorito on again. Something that's come through. So, yeah, fair enough. But like I said, I think it has had that variation on that livery, which is nice. I think it would be fantastic. I think a lot of people have said as well, and I think I agree with them, is that it doesn't look amazing just as a photo, but on track it will look pretty good. So yeah, that's where we're going to see it obviously the most. So of course, hopefully fighting for some points this time as well this season. So you never know. But yeah, I think overall it's pretty fantastic, and it's really nice to have a bit of a change as well. Even though they seem to change it every year at Williams, which is nice as well. I think a lot of teams could follow in their example really.
Here.
There you go. That's good. That's good enough for Williams. So, like I said, there's been a couple more as well. Of course, we had the Aston Martin revealed literally the day after the last podcast was recorded as well. Out of a tier list. So far, obviously, because there's obviously still a couple more to come. Aston Martin number one.
Yeah. It was quite easy, wasn't it? Really, I like the British racing green on the Formula One grid again. It's perfect, isn't it? Some people were a bit didn't like the streaks of green kind of thing and did prefer the pink, which I do understand to get the car a bit more personality. However, it just feels more like a traditional Aston Martin, don't it? Really, and we're going to be seeing a lot of pink, I think, from another team.
God, I think. With that other team, the one you have in mind, and why they've got that pink, I think obviously that sponsor previously at Aston Martin obviously has moved on. So yeah, that's the reason why the pink has been removed from the Aston Martin livery, I would say. And then obviously the new sort of, it's sort of a lime but neon sort of trim, isn't it, that goes through the racing green, which is really nice, I think, overall. And on the new car design, looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Stroll and Vettel can do in the Aston Martin, because I hope they have a better season than they did last season, because it was all built up to be amazing, all fantastic, and then finishing down in 7th in the order, I think it was, in the constructors. So fingers crossed they can pick it up, and with a fantastic livery that they've got, I'm sure that'll give them an extra few horsepower, legal horsepower. Somehow it comes with the livery, so it should be good. But like I said, I think right at the top of the order in terms of the ones that we've seen so far, as the new liveries, definitely I'd like the Aston Martin livery, definitely, and I'll be hoping to get them in a few league races and things like that, hopefully when the new game comes out, if the new game comes out.
We hope so, otherwise we're out of a job.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But exactly. So that's the Aston Martin livery. We touched on the Williams as well. The other one, well, there's 2 more. Sorry, was actually 3 more. But we'll get to that in a minute. We'll talk about the McLaren then next, because, like I said, another British racing team. I think they've gone. In terms of the livery design, I think it's a fantastic livery myself. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. I think it is literally the mix of their previous livery and the Golf livery from Monaco.
Yeah.
Slightly different colour scheme, obviously, but I think it's pretty much as close as they could do to that same livery, but just changing the colour scheme a bit.
Yeah, it's I don't see a problem with it. I quite like it. It's quite funny actually. People are getting on Red Bull's back about not having completely not changed it at all, and then McLaren do something nice, and then it's lose-lose, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But I don't mind it, and I agree with you. I think it's exactly what they've done from the Golf livery from the Monaco Grand Prix. I think a lot of people probably were hoping that Golf livery would be like a permanent fixture kind of thing, which it would have been quite nice. But it's kind of in the middle tier for me. It's like it's probably below the Williams really, but I'm not complaining with it. I quite like it, and I wouldn't mind being the McLaren on the next season if I ever get it.
Yeah. Like I said, I think exactly that. They've taken a risk. I know it's just a livery, but they've taken a risk on the livery, and I don't think they've got the reward, if you will. Just because, like I said, with the Red Bull, we'll stick the same livery on it again, and that'll be fine. But like I said, with the Williams, I think they've tried to do a similar sort of thing at McLaren. They've gone in a different direction. I think it's worked myself personally, but like I said, again, we'll have to see what it looks like on track, because again, looking at the photos of it in a showcase in the reveal, when they take the blanket off it, you're not going to see that much of it unless it's going at 200 miles an hour. So if the cameras can catch up with it. Of course, the cars are going to be so fast this season, so the cameras are going to have a tough time. No, but so I like the livery myself, but I said I'd say what you said basically is it's not the best of the best, but it's not the worst of the worst either. I don't think so. So I think they're somewhere in the middle ground in terms of the livery design as well. But I just wonder how many of these livery designers get paid. But clearly the McLaren and Williams livery designers, they get paid on how many changes they make to the livery for the next season. But the Red Bull guy gets paid the same amount, whatever it is, so he just slaps the same livery on.
To be fair to the Red Bull guy, he can't do a lot really, can he? 'Cause he's got so much Red Bull splashed all over it, and he can't really do much with it. But as Martin Brundle used to say, a beautiful car is a fast car, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. If it's fast, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, I better hope the Haas doesn't go fast next season then.
I kind of want it to go fast. I would like the grid to be more bunched up.
I think it probably will be. Well, compared to what it was last season, obviously it was uncompetitive completely last season, so they can only go up really. They can't see, I suppose. The eye movement suggested that it could go further down.
But there's still that horrific 107% rule still floating about. So let's hope they can make
Oh
that.
dear. We're bringing it back, are we? For the have to.
Gosh. Yeah, no,
Well,
I hope they've a bit more further up the field. However, unfortunately, with the new rules, I'm a bit pessimistic. I mean, the cars look beautiful. I mean, all of them look absolutely stunning. I just like the sleek. It looks slimline. It looks sleek. They look like racing cars again. I mean, the 2021 cars look like racing cars, but I feel that they was a bit too big for my liking. Yeah, they do look a bit more sleek. However, in the past, rule changes do tend to spread the field out. 2009 and 14, I think the most recent rule changes, major rule changes, I believe. And yeah, Braun was miles out in front, and unfortunately, Mercedes was miles out in front as well. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view. Yeah, I have a feeling that it might be something. I hope not. I hope it's more closer together. But I have a feeling that someone or a couple of teams may have like found a loophole, and then it's going to spread the grid out a bit further than what it was this season.
yeah, I remember seeing an article about. Can't remember who it was now.
Alpine.
No, it's maybe Mercedes. And they were suggesting that with the new regulations, they were basically saying that they think exactly that. They think that some people will have found a loophole. I think hinting at Mercedes having found a loophole already. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Mercedes doing pretty well at the initial stages. I'm sure that there'll be some sort of investigation thanks to Red Bull lodging an appeal.
That's Formula One, isn't it? They love it.
Well, I might as well go for an appeal. Why not? Yeah. But I think the way he was talking about it was that yeah, it sounded like some teams like wink may have found a loophole. Wink. Like, so yeah, we'll have to see obviously when we get there. But yeah, it sounded like that from my point of view. But yeah, I think it's like the Alpine, and we'll talk about the Alpine. Of course, the Alpine livery is to come still. We've got one more livery. I can't remember which one it is now. One more livery, the AlphaTauri livery, of course, which came out. So we'll talk about Alpine in a minute. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the AlphaTauri livery? I mean, yeah.
I forgot about the AlphaTauri. I quite like it. Again, I don't think. I must admit, I think that when I look at livery, there's none of the liveries where I've gone, ugh, like oh gosh, that's horrific kind of thing. So not. Yeah, well, I don't. I like the white Haas. I never like grey cars. I don't like. I don't mind the beautiful West like black in, even though they call it silver, don't they? But it technically might be grey. But I thought the Haas grey car, I really didn't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like grey on anything, whether it's football kits or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a positive Pete. But I don't think any liveries are like. Oh, and I quite like the AlphaTauri. Yeah, there's not really much. I think it's in the McLaren tier for me, where I don't love it and I don't hate it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just there and thereabouts sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they haven't done too much to it compared to the sort of changes they obviously have had since they became AlphaTauri from Toro Rosso, of course. I think literally they just flipped the livery upside down last season, didn't they? So basically, well, now we'll have the sort of the navy blue on the bottom of the car.
Hey, it impressed us. We loved it. I remember. I was like, wow.
To be fair, yeah. So I think they've done a bit similar, obviously, with this season's livery as well, obviously just on the new car design. The one bit I do not like is the front wing, where it's like Alfa and then Tauri, like shouting at you. Like the Alfa you can barely see, and then it just says Tauri. Like, oh my god.
I hadn't even noticed that, so that's what I'm gonna be looking at that tomorrow and go, oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, it's just for some reason it's really thin letters on the. Well, if you're looking at it on the left-hand side of the front wing, well, on the right part of the front wing, if you're the driver, obviously. Really small letters says Alfa. Well, not small letters, but thin letters says Alfa. and then really thick letters on the right hand side of the wing. It says Tauri. It's like it just, if you just looked at it quickly, you just see, oh, Tauri. What's that?
That's why you're a graphic designer, Alex. So I didn't even notice that.
I've got to pay attention to the detail, you see. Thankfully, didn't design anything too important. But yeah, for a record, I don't do graphic design as a profession. So, well, I've done a bit of it just to do some thumbnails and things like that. But that's as far as I got. But yeah, that's it really for the ones that have been released, of course. And then the last but not least, the one I was going to test you on was speaking of test, was the Alfa Romeo livery. Did you see that one? It was the camouflage sort of all-in one. Yeah, I like that.
It was all right. I must admit, I like the Love Heart one they had a couple of years ago. So I was a bit like, but it was all right, I suppose. I must admit, I'm not really expecting too much from the Alfa Romeo. I think I'm expecting something similar to last year. Albeit I liked last year's one because again they did an Alfa Tauri. They just flipped it upside down.
Yeah. So the good thing was that I think the Alfa Tauri went the wrong way because they flipped it, but then the Alfa Romeo did it the right way and flipped it the right way around, sort of thing. So. So the Alfa Romeo livery did look really good, I think. I agree with you there. So hopefully they don't flip it back.
Yeah, I'll keep it, I reckon. But I have a feeling there might be some more Chinese sponsors on there this year, though. Joe.
Well, if you can read them.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope his camp decides to keep it a bit stum instead of breaking the news 24 hours before. Like they did in China, didn't they? Which I don't think they were too happy about.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes with day before Bahrain, before the race. But that's really it from the liveries. Like I said, there's been quite a few since we last had a little chat about it. But we've still got a couple more to go. For life me, I can't remember. Oh, Mercedes being one of them. There we go. There's one. And I can't think of the rest of them. Alpine as well.
And also Ferrari as well. But there's a leaked picture of Ferrari, and it's really nice. It's like gone back to their traditional 90s colours, like black front and rear wing and like red in the middle. It looks really lush, and I'm like, oh, I think that might top the Aston Martin because I like the red and black. It looks beautiful.
Well,
they should play for money.
On a Ferrari point of view, I'm thinking it's going to be red.
Well, what kind of red though?
Ferrari red.
That would do. I was waiting for you to do like a hex thing or something like that.
Oh, I'll just bring it up for that. There it is on the screen. No, either way, I hope it looks nice. Obviously, I want all the liveries to look nice because obviously we watch F1 all the time, so we want to see something pretty good rather than a bit of Haas. So,
I would like a really horrible livery actually, because I think it'd be quite. I do love something that looks disgusting.
Do you reckon they should go with some of the ones from the Codemasters store? just whack them on and put a few sort of multicolours all over it.
Oh gosh, I retract my statement. Actually, yeah.
There we go then. That's it. That's how to solve the problem with Sean's liveries. So, although you could have a pink one.
I'd love a pink car. Love pink or purple will be back on the grid. As we've already heard my whinging, I'd also like a yellow car as well. Bring back Jordan.
Just less blue in my opinion, really. As you said as well. But it's enough. Just less blue, please. But that's it for the liveries for now. We have a few more to come. Hopefully, we'll have them ready for next episode as well. We're not doing them ourselves, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll be ready when we do the next podcast. The next one was the next sort of topic was going to be about sprint races and things like that, because of course we have heard the announcement that there will be 3 more sprint races next season as well. So there will be. I forgot which tracks they're at. Imola, Austria, and Brazil, I think it is.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's right. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or something. So like I said, the format of the sprint race I think is still the same, but I believe the depending on where you qualify, if you qualify on pole, you're automatically on pole for Sunday's race, is what I've been told by a certain source. So I'm not sure how that would work, because obviously what's the point in competing for the sprint race then? To be honest, because well, from what so basically what basically you qualify pole in the sprint race, and then you're automatically on pole for Sunday's race. So if you didn't want to compete in the sprint race for some for whatever reason, maybe just to save an engine or something, surely you wouldn't need to worry about it. You could just start on pole next day. Yeah. What's your? I don't know whether the format is that. So I'm sorry if I completely confused you. But yeah, what's your thoughts on sprint races as a whole, so that we can steer away from this whole qualifying bit? What's your thought on sprint races as a whole, and how they've sort of featured in last season as well, and what do you reckon they're going to do in the new season as well?
I was very disappointed to hear that coming back. I don't like sprint races. I think it's good for lower Formula, but Formula One's the pinnacle of motorsport. I don't think we should have sprint races. I think it should be qualifying, and then the race. But I'm old. I'm now 3 decades, so that's why. But I know. I'm almost as old as the dinosaurs. But no, I don't like sprint races at all. I was happy to give it a go. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Silverstone. I enjoyed Monza, and I enjoyed Brazil, which basically is a hypocrite of me, isn't it, really? So I've enjoyed all of them. But I think as for sprint races go, Formula One doesn't. I don't think Formula One needs it. I think it's added to something that maybe, yeah, I don't want it. And points as far as down to 8th now, which is much better, because I didn't really think the points from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd was really worth it, to be fair. But so the points, they've kind of juggled it around. But sprint races for me, no. However, I did see someone in the in one of the Discord earlier on, or yesterday, Alex was asking us about sprint races. Maybe the admin team might want to try them out.
On my point of view for this, you see, I've got to be careful. No, I'd have to say I am not a fan of sprint races. Same as you, really. In real life, I think they don't add much, and I think, like I said, the way that they were handled, I think obviously the way that they sort of developed the whole race weekend, the way it affected the whole race weekend, especially last season's, didn't really work. And like I said, I remember watching the Monza race, and Monza sprint race, sorry, that is, and then thinking, well, wake me up when it's finished, sort of thing. Like they're just going to race around 18 laps, stay in the order, sort of thing, and that's very much it, because they're all going to be stuck in the same train, because there's no time for gaps to develop and things like that, because they're just doing 18 fastest laps basically. And I think potentially if it was going to be included into a league, and I think we would have to do it that way, because literally the game will mandate it because of the way it works, is a short qualifying format, so 18 minutes, set whatever times you want, whatever tires you want, into a 25% race. So the qualifying format sorts the grid out for the 25% race. The 25% race is the sprint race, but in a 25% race in the game, it's a mandatory pit stop. So you have to change tyres if it's obviously dry.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the only way of incorporating it into a league racing situation, because it would have to be. There's no point doing a 5-lapper sprint race or a 3-lapper sprint race even. I think it's just too short of a time, and it's not worth actually doing it that way. So the minimum it would have to be with a 25% race, which would mean that then everyone would have to make a pit stop in that race as well. and then that would then lead on to the point scorers and the grid of the results of the sprint race, or the 25% race, for the 50% race, which would be then the feature race, like the full race. Time-wise, that would probably be similar to a full quali and a 50% race format as it is. The only problem is that then after the 25% race, you'd have to back out, redo the grids, and that sort of thing. So then they had the results from the sprint race in the 50% race. So management-wise, I'm not keen on it. Real life-wise, not keen on it either. So I think, like I said, there's positives to it as well. But I think again, in a league racing scenario where we've seen some desperate driving, let's say, in a shorter format, not mentioning any names, Ginger Rage. But yeah, where we've seen some more aggressive driving, put it that way, in a shorter format. For example, when the lobby disconnects and it's a 50% race, but we've got to restart and we do a 25% race instead, so that we can finish on time still, that sort of thing, then we see a lot more differences in the racing styles of people when the race is shorter. So that's my concern as well with sprint races, is that people will just not focus on it and not really sort of pay as much respect as they would do to other drivers on track. And hopefully that's not the case, obviously, if it does happen. But like I said, potentially with it actually having an impact on, or the result of the sprint race having an impact, then that shouldn't happen either as well, to be honest. But yeah, so I'd say it's something that we will look into, definitely for next season, as a format similar to the real life F1, where it would be 3 or 4 race weekends throughout the season, rather than quite a few. But yeah, so it's just I'm not a fan of it overall, in my opinion. Like I said, real life F1, it doesn't add, well, it just takes up more time and sort of makes it a bit more odd for the race weekend in real life, in my opinion. But I said, with the new point system, like you touched on there, from 8 points for first all the way down to 8th, I think potentially that would spice it up. Like I said, it would make it more interesting in terms of the championship overall. Like I said, we saw with Verstappen and Hamilton in the sprint races that obviously if they can go for those extra couple of points, it makes a difference. Like I said, we went into the final race of the season on equal points, so sprint races did play a factor in that. So yeah, like I said, if they weren't involved, then there would have been a difference in that final race as well, to be fair. I don't know which way it would have gone though, but either way. So yeah, it's just if it can somehow be executed properly. I'm not saying it's not been executed properly in Formula One already, but I think it just needs refinement to make it a bit better, if you know what I mean. And I think it's been a bit difficult, I think, for last season where there was a few issues with the sort of teething of it. But yeah, like you did say, I think Formula One is the pinnacle. It shouldn't really have these sort of silly races, in my opinion, added on to it, because the objective is the goal is the main race, the feature race of the weekend, of the whole circuit, of the whole calendar. So we'll have to see how it goes in obviously the new season as well. Like I said, with these new cars that are apparently going to be amazing at overtaking and following other cars, then potentially the sprint races will be fantastic. Sean doesn't look like he agrees there, but I'm having to hope. That's all I'm having to do. So we can hope, Sean. We can hope.
Yes.
But yeah, that's it. Unless there's something else you want to add to the sprint race debacle. No, that's about it for that one. So
Keep it to
we covered that
Formula
one.
2. Keep it
Tick
to
that one
Formula
off the
2.
list. We'll get that one gone. But last but not least, very important topic. This is a very serious topic as well. Try to put your serious face on. What's happening with Vettel's hair?
Oh, now this is interesting. I do love hair. I must admit, it's the best part about pre-season, I think, there, because I was actually worried last year because I was like, oh my god, he's going bald, and then like he's gone back to his old looks, hasn't he? He looks like he's gone back to 2010 Vettel, hasn't he, where he was a bit more like scruffy kind of thing. I love his hair. I think it's amazing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
yeah.
I saw. I think it was Emerson, or it was one of the lovely HD drivers who put it into the F1 meme section on Discord of Vettel previous season, and he's bald. Vettel this season, he's got hair. Or Vettel, sorry, in the pre-season now, and he's got obviously his full head of hair. And then Vettel in 2023, where he's got a massive afro.
Yes.
So, I don't know how he's going to fit that in his helmet, but
That's if he's even at Aston Martin next year, though. That's there's also.
You've got some intel.
Oh no, no. I was just I was reading about something earlier on about how it's maybe crunch time for Vettel this year. So.
All right. Okay. Well, do you reckon then? Just on that as a bit of a spin-off, then quickly, if Lewis wins the next title, and do you reckon there'll be a Mercedes seat available at the end of the season? If, for example, if Mercedes obviously did win the title, and Hamilton won the title, of course, as well, do you reckon there'll be a Mercedes seat free, and do you reckon Vettel might be available for that?
I don't think Vettel will be Toto's choice, to be honest. It depends very much on how he does this season. For Vettel, I think it may be crunch time. He did really well last season. I think he was. I think he did really well against Stroll, because let's be honest, Stroll has basically been in that team for quite a while now, and he hasn't really. Let's be honest, he's only in that team because of his dad. Being brutally honest, but he's been that car for quite a number of years, and yeah, you expect him to do decent. Vettel only just stepped in that car from Ferrari. He's been in that Ferrari car for 5 years. Of course, it's going to be different, and I think he did all right. But this season, I feel that he needs to step it up, and otherwise, Aston Martin may be looking for another driver at the end of 2022 if Vettel doesn't perform.
Okay, well, interesting stuff there. We'll have to keep on top of that as we go through the season, of course. But the countdown has begun to the start of the F1 calendar, of course, and we're about a month or so away now. So yeah, just literally ticking down the days now because I desperately get some Formula One back on screen. Well, I think that's pretty much it for today's show. Like I said, if there's anything you want to come up with, guys, in the comments or something for us to talk about in the next one as well, of course, we'll hopefully get it out next week for you as well. Then let us know. And yeah, if you've got any lovely questions or quirks for us to grill us in the next, or I can grill Sean, and I'll grill Sean in the next podcast if you like as well. You've got the F1 themed questions and things like that as well. But yeah, thanks very much for joining us again, and yeah, we'll catch you next week.
Ciao for now.